Opinions expressed are that of the Sunday Funday podcast. John Bocanegra, Amber Edwards, Curtis Spivey, Dom Lawrence, or any guest host, or bystander at the time of recording. Any opinions stated do not reflect that of any entity or outside association to the personalities in or associated with the Sunday Funday podcast. Now take a load off. Take two. Hey everyone, along with Amber Edwards.
Hey.
This is the Sunday Funday podcast. Along with Amber. I already did this shit. Man, I'm used to having a third, and we don't have a third, and this is kind of weird for us. It's not like we're completely useless without the third, but...
It's me again, since I was introduced twice.
Two Ambers.
That's too much.
Oh, God, that would be too much. No, thanks for joining us on the Sunday Funday podcast. If it's through Google Play Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spreaker, which I'm using more of now.
Spreaker.
Yeah, that one actually has like a built-in player. So if you were to open it on your phone, it just opens like a web page.
Ooh.
Instead of you having to sign up through SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like using that more. So we're going to be using Spreaker a lot more. Or YouTube. If you do that too, that's cool. Thanks for joining us. A lot of things happened in this past week. And then a lot of things didn't happen, according to Amber's week. They got you. That's how they got you.
Yeah.
ERs. Don't visit ERs, people.
Jesus Christ.
No. This is a PSA now. This is PSA moment.
Yep. If you have an urgent situation and you value your time, specifically go to urgent care clinic and not a standalone ER because it operates just like an ER. I went in, had a little ingrown hair on my leg, and ended up staying there for 6.5 hours.
For too damn long.
Yep. Got poked and prodded with needles and got a tetanus shot. And
was talked to by a sexy, dorky Jamaican man?
Yes, I was. And he also got to look at me as I pulled my pants down to show him my leg.
Adriana's face.
It was very embarrassing.
She was like, oh dear.
And then I thought I was done, and they took my blood and stuck me twice and took my pee and gave me an x-ray and made me take off my bra with my sore arm. Ugh, it was jumblies everywhere.
Needle that was too... With a needle that was too big for you.
Very, very big.
You need to drink more water. That's what it sounds like.
I know. Well, see, normally when I go for my physical or whatever I'm going to do for the year.
You're just boom.
I'll drink a whole bunch of water. I went in there and didn't think that I was going to be getting blood taken. My blood pressure went up because I didn't expect
They hit you with all this stuff.
Yeah. And they were like, we're going to give you a shot. And I was like, what? And then my blood pressure went up and then they kept me because my blood pressure was up. But
we got to make sure your heart doesn't explode.
Exactly. But I'm out. I'm happy, but I won't be going there anymore.
Well, damn it. I'm happy for you that you're not that you're not having big heart problems.
Heart palpitations.
My heart's too big.
What in heart palpitations?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, at least you have a clean bill of health. Some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people don't. And they're just like, man, I wish I could eat fried chicken or something.
No, I mean, I probably will. My dad has a high blood pressure, so, I mean, I wasn't too surprised, even if, it was a little high without me being upset with everything that they were trying to, do to me. But it is good to know. And he did.
There's no telling that it wasn't high before that happened.
Yeah, it could have very well been high. But yeah, folks, take care of yourself.
And it's not hard. Cut out the occasional soda. If you're like, I eat 20 sodas. Well, you could if they're frozen. I have 20 sodas a week. You just take one out of them. That's a good start.
Oh, my God. And I have a soda right here to drink.
You're like, yeah, whatever. No, Enrique did that. He was it's obviously Lent, so everyone's giving everything up or giving something up. So Enrique was like, yeah, I'm going to give up beer. There's no beer in the house except for the stuff that we have in the fridge.
What?
And I told him we were going to support him and help him out with that. And we have Ziegenbox in the fridge. That's mostly because we bought them before we went to this party and we forgot. We didn't forget to drink them. We just went to the party. We were there for a little bit and then we just came back. I was like, whatever. But there's still beer in the fridge, so he's not going to drink them because he's doing well. And then he gave up energy drinks too. No, sodas. Sorry.
I was about to say, I'm not a big energy drink.
He still does it. I'm not either. It just, my heart palpitations just, I don't want to mess with that. No, but he gave all that up, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome, dude.
That is
Got
good.
drunk last night. He's like, I didn't give up liquor. That's smart.
Wow.
That's still kind of the same, though. He should have just
all together. Yeah, just spirits all together.
Nah, dude. We can Well, there's still stuff in the freezer. We're not going to throw that out, but
Just don't touch it.
we're still helping them out. Like, hey, keep them in check a little bit. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, they had the what event did they do? It was something for Citibank, and it was like a served dinner for like 600 people.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. So he was like, they had like a masseuse there. His boss like hired these masseuses because they're up and about for like the longest time. They take a break and get a massage, which is
Ooh.
awesome,
Okay, nice. Thoughtful boss.
right? I haven't. Well, hot and cold with her,
No.
but I haven't had a professional massage. I want that.
I always said I'm a very gassy person. And so me being.
I never noticed.
I know. Me being on my stomach probably just wouldn't be a good thing. And then them pushing down on me and,
It's
just
like
quick,
something.
quick whisper. And then they'd want to stop.
You can't whisper in your panties if you're not wearing them.
You can't whisper in your panties. It's going to be in somebody's nose
It's
immediately.
gonna be somebody's robe. And just
Can we throw that out?
you're like, does this have a filter in the back? That's stuff we think about, though. It's like, man, living the pampered life would be awesome, and we just always think about having every now and then. I mean, it doesn't control our lives, but we bring it up on the show every now and then.
Yeah.
It's like, man, they have that, and it'd be cool to have this, or man, I
want
wish we
that
had
too.
that sponsor, or man, making money off of doing something that's not that hard to do in the
Yes.
first place would be great. Nobody ever counts their blessings, though, and figure out, like, hey, what I have now is pretty good.
Yeah. There's always somebody out there. You're envying the next, but there's always somebody envying you too.
Nobody ever thinks about that, too. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to end the show with that, and you stole the quote that I was
Oh my God.
you stole the quote that I was going to use. It's like, yeah, you may want something somebody else has, but you never think about something that somebody wants what you have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got a car, you got a job. That's more than what most people have anyway.
Yeah.
But we always think about stuff like that when it comes to like monetary things, and we shouldn't. Like that's not the right way to go about
Nah.
things. It's like you're living by the dollar or by the whatever the stocks dictate. The price of gold is pretty much what we're living by. Because that goes into the dollar and the euro and the franc. They don't make francs anymore.
Frank.
At all.
And just somebody with a big barrel of hot dogs. I got some Franks.
Oh, damn it. And then he just throws them on the street. Street hot dogs.
And birds.
They don't even want them. Like,
Aw.
we stepped up. We don't eat that anymore. We don't eat that anymore. No, I just got to thinking because I saw... It was one time me and Adriana were driving somewhere and we passed this car. I think, it was a Corvette, wasn't it?
Probably.
It was super low to the ground. I want to say it was a Corvette. Or that Lotus that's always at Tech. I can't remember. But it was just driving beside us, all loud, all clean, all low to the ground. And I was like, damn. And then it just took off in front of us. I want that. But then I thought about it and I was like, I couldn't handle anything with horsepower that high. No way could I do that.
No,
It's just
I
like,
wouldn't want
let me
that.
back out of the driveway and I take off into space or something. by accident.
Or just park in your neighbor across the street living room. Just, oh, hi.
They would be pretty mad about that, especially since they're fixing up the house.
Aw.
Like, what's going on?
And if it's a stick, that's over because I can't drive sticks.
You
so.
can't?
No, I would just I had an ex-boyfriend sometime back then. I don't know. He was like, I'm going to show you how to drive. And I was like,
I'm going to teach you how to drive.
I was like,
stick.
I don't want to. And I don't want to learn how to do this. I think I was like 18. And he was like, watch, I'm going to show you so you can drive. I was like, I have my own car. So
Why would he want you to drive his car? I mean, no offense to Adriana, but
I don't know if he had like a plan, like he's going to rob a bank and I need to know. He didn't. He wasn't that type of
he
person.
needed a getaway driver.
I
See,
guess-
they're always the most unsuspecting ones.
Exactly. No, he was a really cool guy, but he just wanted me to drive, and
Just so you can know. He
we're
was trying to
going
help
up
you.
the South Bluth, and he's like, "Yeah, you gotta change the gears," and I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing, and I
It's
don't
like
want to
you got
do
a
this."
clutch, you got a shift.
And I just drove just like it was automatic, and stuff started grinding. He was like, "Pull over," and I was like, "I thank you, because I don't want to do this."
You did it on purpose. You just looked at him.
Yep, I
Revved
did.
it real hard.
Yep, I
All
did.
that grinding.
And he was like, "Just get in the passenger." I was like, "Thank you."
Good, because I didn't want to drive. Where are we going? You're all, where are we going?
Okay. Oh my god.
Are you taking me out to eat? I'm taking you. I ain't taking you nowhere.
Taking you home.
I ain't even taking you there. You're walking the rest of the way.
Oh.
No, just even seeing that, like, and it's hard too, because, okay, earlier I was looking at boots, because I I think Jack Thread sent me an email that was like, hey, it's $40 boots, and I was like, oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Especially that's good for a man, $40 anything.
Yeah, because on that website anyway, most of them are like $9,900, like $110. Yeah, maybe I don't want $110 pair of boots, except for those the ones I have now, which are from where are the boots from? You don't know?
I want those boots.
It's Aldo. They're Aldo.
Oh, okay.
I
like
I couldn't
Aldo.
remember. I was like, it's the boot place that everybody goes to. And then Enrique would have said, Boot City? Like, no, not that one.
No. Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
What was that song? Boot City. Boot City 2.
There were two of them. Except it was spelled like Boot City also. Yeah. I was just like, oh. No, I get what y'all were doing, but... Oh.
No.
No, I saw that and I was like, ooh, yeah, $40 boots.
Yeah.
And I checked it out and I was like, oh, these are nice, these are nice, these are nice. But I'm already trying to put money off for something else. I'm getting my eyes checked this week.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like, I need that for the actual exam, which is not too much.
Well, wait,
thanks
you're
to
not going to use the
insurance.
insurance?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like $25 for the eye exam. I could just go somewhere
Wait,
free.
where do you go?
I go to...
It's on 50th.
Yeah, it's on 50th, like by Bonus Burger. It's this little... It's like this building that you would not suspect has...
Oh, okay, by off of University.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like a building like Stanton or
Because
something.
I just got my eyes done with VSP, and I still
My
paid-
eyes done?
I got my eyes did. You know, I got my eyes did, girl. They green. No.
Y'all just...
Okay, blink, blink, blink. No. I still had to pay the $70 sitting fee. Like it was a $60 sitting fee, and then my copay was only $10. But I've been other places before. Like when I was in Shreveport, you can go for $25, and I was trying to find a place like that.
You're like, where is it?
And yeah, that didn't work out. But anyway, still, that's great. $25.
I just hate that because it's so much money, and I always think, excuse me, that banana pineapple.
Is it coming up on you a little bit?
It's good. It's tasty. Shout out to Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Adriana just came up. It's on point. It's actually written on the side of my... Why did they write that?
That was called Paradise Point without strawberries.
Oh, Paradise Point. Without strawberries? Yeah. Oh, good thing you didn't... I mean, I like strawberries, but not mixed up with that. Anyway, I always think, too, like, it costs so much money for me to get my... And I've had vision problems since I was since I was in second grade.
Yeah, that's when I...
So, yeah, I
got
was
mine.
like... Yeah, because I saw Joe having his glasses when I was younger. It's like, yeah, glad I don't have to do that. Next thing I knew, dork. But I always think about that, too. It's like, man, I would be saving so much money. And it's not like it's a grand amount of money, but it's like...
Yeah.
That could easily go to a car payment or something like that. And it's
Yeah.
just... I always wanted... to have perfect vision because my mom does. She has like I don't know how, but she does. I mean, she needs reading glasses now because she's getting older. But I was like, how come I couldn't have that? And my little brother didn't have glasses until he was in junior high.
Ah.
So yeah, he went like through most of his life without having glasses, and I was like, I wish I could have just perfect vision. I don't want to do LASIK though because I don't want my eyeballs to fall out.
I've thought about that, and I was like, with my luck, I'll like you said, eyeball just. Bleep.
When you become a mutant, you're just like, oh, okay, cool. I can shoot lasers out of my eyes, whatever. I can see through clothes.
No.
Would you want that though?
No, I would never want to see through it. No. Some people I'd be like, hi.
Just taking a peek, and you're like,
And then other people I'll just throw up, just not no control over it, just.
Like, there goes Amber with one of her throwing up fits. And then you did it at the ER, and they kept you there longer.
Oh my god!
You just have an upset stomach, so we have to make sure you check you out with sexy nerdy Jamaican man.
I don't want to see his either.
But then you do.
Oh my
And he
god!
can feel it too, like, oh, someone just X-rayed me. It's weird that they gave you that X-ray without the lead shield.
Yeah, just nothing. I don't know if I'm gonna have just what did I say? I was gonna
Spider-Man
have
babies.
Spider-Man babies.
I was like, yeah, your ovaries are all filled with X-ray.
Or little Dr. X babies, and they'll come out old and crippled.
Okay, first of all, he didn't start like that.
I
I'm
know,
not gonna
but
get into this.
I know that. They'll just automatically be at that point.
With asthma too, because
Aw.
I have asthma, so it's like, man, I wish I could just wake up and breathe one day. Because sometimes I'll wake up and it's like it just depends on the air temperature and like if it's really cold, I have trouble breathing. And I hate. That's why I hate the winter. And people are like, I love it. And it's like sweater weather and pumpkin spice lattes and hot cocoa. Like, no, it sucks. Like the winter sucks for me because
if you have asthma, you can't breathe.
I can't breathe. During the cotton harvest too is when it gets the worst because all the pollens and stuff in the air, and it's just
see, I have allergies and. Yeah, like pollen, dust, all that's flying around here. It does excite that, and sometimes I'm just like, can't breathe. My throat feels like it's gonna close up. My eyes are itching, so I'm going through contacts, and I'm just like, I do not want to go order new contacts.
I just my friend taught me this. Like you pat your eyelids
like that,
just instead of scratching, so you don't just and the contact gets all folded up, and it's like in your eyelid.
Okay,
that happened to me once. We were playing soccer, and I just got off the field and I rubbed my eye. This guy substituted in real quick. I was like, dude, I just got off. So I went like that and I went on. My contact was all messed up. So I was just like, uh-oh. Good thing they passed the ball to me and it hit me in the chest instead of the face. So I just like trapped it and then I passed it. So like, nope, got to get it out of here.
Okay. Get that ball somewhere else. My eye's all messed up.
That's another thing I think about too. Is like, man, I wish I played sports in high school. This is mostly the podcast of regret. No, it's not. That was always something I wanted to do. I mean, I love sports ever since I was old enough to know how to know what a sport was, dribble basketball, whatever. And it was, man, I feel like I missed out on a lot because I didn't do much. Like I could have had scholarship opportunities maybe because I have a natural talent. Like I can play it well enough to play with other people. But I feel like if the talent that I had was cultivated and nurtured, like I could have made something of it. Or at least like got a scholarship to help me out with the stuff that I do now. Yeah.
Well, ever since I've known you, you've always talked about like basketball, soccer, some form of sport, golf,
curling.
Stop it.
That's not a real sport.
Who thought of that?
Canadians.
Let's sweep this big heavy thing.
Anybody that lives anywhere near ice, it's like they took shuffleboard to the next level. They're like, oh man, we can make something out of this.
That is a BS.
But I like shuffleboard though.
Yeah, I play shuffleboard because you can see numbers, you can scoot and...
That one just seems more, like the degree of difficulty seems high. Also, you're dealing with like 20-pound stones.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, I want to know how many times that big weight like rolled over somebody's foot or... Yeah, or smashed their foot against the wall, like...
Smash their hand while they're like scrubbing too close and like they fall and it rolls over their hand.
I've just never understood that. Headset coming off, sorry.
We're official. My other podcast doesn't wear headsets except for me since I'm producing, so I have to hear everything that's going on.
I like being able to hear everything.
Okay, see, that's another thing too. My friend John Ryan, his hearing is going away, like it's deteriorating.
What?
So he can be in the boat, like in his most recent art project was a performance art piece. So he was sitting in a chair. He was painted all in white body paint, except for the tights that he had on, and these two girls had these giant paddles, so it was like kind of like they looked like giant sponge brushes, like for artists, but they dipped them in paint and they hit him up against his ears, so it's to signify like how he was losing his hearing and like how it's just like splashing off and like
he's super young.
Yeah, he's 24.
I think so.
Is he gonna have to get like the surgery and get like the implant? Oh God.
He's not doing cochlear implants right now, but he has some form of hearing aids. He's like fluent in sign and everything. So technically,
oh well, that's good. He's taking, making sure he's ready.
Yeah, but he's doing this project. He did that project to where it was a little video project too. So they had this like art gallery display on Saturday night, and that's why we were there at the Art Annex doing Artications podcast, and it was them talking to one of their Oh, that guy was really cool, by the way. Cody, his name's Cody Arnold, and he was there with them, and they were talking about their displays and exhibits and entering in contests and stuff. But John Ryan was talking about how, and a lot of his projects are very personal to him. It's like talking about how he's losing his hearing, and he has a kid to watch, and how it might affect the dynamic between the both of them.
Oh, he has a kid?
Yeah.
What? Where I learned.
He's 5?
What?
4? Yeah, 4. But yeah, he has a kid, and he's going through all these things like just with that alone, and on top of being an art student and all this other stuff. But yeah, that was something I was thinking about too. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we take for granted too, whether it's health that we were just talking about now, or not doing something that we wanted to do for the longest time. And I found this out. Well, going back to sports, like I found out that it's never too late to do anything. Like, yeah, younger people might have an advantage on
Yeah.
you because they're younger and faster and they can heal faster than you and all this. But it didn't stop me from wanting to participate in stuff like that. So if you ever think that it's too late to do something, just ask the elderly people that go to college and get their
Yeah.
degrees.
I look at like somebody posted something like it was a meme. It had like Viola Davis and then the dude from Moonlight, and like
She won a Harvard award.
yeah, and she won an Oscar, her first Oscar. She's
Yeah.
53, and that guy from Moonlight's like 40.
Also, she was the first, what we were trying to say last week, she was the first black woman to win an Oscar too, by the way, an Academy Award.
Was that not? I thought that was Halle Berry.
For lead actress?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, then she won that Harvard award too. But yeah, you were saying.
No, it was just saying just, basically you think you haven't succeeded in life, or you're young and you haven't done what you think you needed to do, and it just had those two people, like she's 53 and he's 43, and they're, getting all this recognition now, like they're at the peak, not the peak, but at a
They made it to
at a very high point
Yeah.
in their careers right now. So,
It's never too late.
I mean, I hope I don't have to wait until I'm 53, but it'd still be awesome to, get to where I want to be in life.
I was gonna say, would you want to win an award for something like in your field of excellence?
No,
It's like,
I just want to have money and be stable, and
going
just,
back to what we were saying about the
Yeah.
happiness.
yeah, just be in a good place to where I can take care of things, be comfortable, put money back, have leisure money, and as Jaden gets older, that's when all the problems starts, when you get into your teenage years and
God.
college years. So I just want to be able to say, okay, I got this. I'm going to make you pay me back and work for it, but I got this. So
Are you gonna make him drive a stick shift?
no.
What if he wants to learn though? Like, yeah,
I mean, if he wants to learn, then I'll figure out, driving school, wherever, like figure out where we can
like
make
you
that.
can do it with them. You're like,
Yeah.
I barely learned how to swim. You're gonna be like 35 and you're
Oh
gonna
my
learn how
God.
to swim.
Oh my God.
See, it's not too late.
And that's also on me and Jaden's bucket list too, since we're going to be around a whole bunch of water, like even more water now, is to learn how to swim. So we don't drown.
That's just I looking back on the other side of the sports thing. I go back to John Ryan's thing in a minute. Looking back on the other side of the sports thing too, it's like, man, I'm glad, because you hear about how, for the NFL, for example, is taking more precautions to protect their players, especially with head injuries and stuff like that. That's a major thing. Looking back on that, it's like, man, and you were a trainer. It's like, I'm glad I don't have to go through what they did, because I would hate to wake up every day and have something different be wrong with me. Mm-hmm. Like whether it's a pain or whether it's like something not working right. Like, man, my intestines feel weird. Like, oh, well, you got punched a lot in the stomach as a boxer or something.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You got a hole in your intestines. You're going to go septic. No, I'm just playing.
Your guts are going to fall off.
Ugh.
They just, well, lost
Ew.
my liver today. How are you still walking? No, I'm just glad. That's another part of it. I mean, the most severe injury I had, probably my sprained ankle, my right one. Well, and then my shoulder.
I was about to
separating.
say your shoulder.
I mean, it's better now. Look, I can do this. I'm all moving my arm around like a noodle.
Woo.
I mean, it's fine now, but even then, like, say I had that happen to me in high school, like, then ever since then, like, up until now, I would still be having, like, a slight
Yeah,
pain.
like issues, yeah.
I'm just glad I didn't have to go through that. I don't know if my friend JJ has any, like, severe injuries. I don't ever remember him getting hurt. Because he was so fit, you know.
Yeah, I know
he's,
JJ.
he's little, but he was so fit to where I never saw him, like, sustain an injury.
No,
A lot of my bigger friends had that problem.
I think there's some people that are lucky enough to get through it without getting injured. Yeah, as a trainer, most of the bigger guys were the ones that were
like knee problems. Or,
yeah, knee problems, back. Like we'd have to do stem or like their ankles and stuff. And I just think, well, for the most part, I was just like mainly football, and obviously like the bigger guys are involved
in more of the
in more of
collisions.
the contact. The smaller guys are trying to run the ball or whatever. But yeah.
They play the pansy positions.
Oh my God.
The wide receivers. No, they don't. I'm not knocking football. Like, you got to have some kind of fortitude to go out there and get hit by somebody.
It's not.
Bodies are not meant to do that.
I of course, I've never been like this uber sports fan unless it's a cute athlete or whatever, but no, like, you see it on TV, but it's totally different from seeing it on TV to being like a few feet away from it and hearing that like connection.
The crunch.
Yeah. Of the helmets and the equipment. And I mean, of course, they're covered, but I mean,
that's still not enough.
It's not enough. Like, people break their legs, they hurt their wrist, their finger. Like, we had a guy, like, his finger got it was just looked like it was about to come off. And I was just like, What am I supposed to
It's
do?
like the finger's going north and south, but at one point it was going east and west.
Yeah, and it's not good. If they
It
get
was
those,
going northwest.
those burns and those cuts and you have to put the second skin on them, nope. I don't know how they do it. Kudos to everybody that gets out there, but Jesus.
I used to think I wanted to do that. Dom showed me this documentary about AAU basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the program that's outside of high school and stuff. And the kid in this documentary, his dad was pushing him I'm glad my dad didn't turn out to be someone like that, because he figured out a long time ago that we were smart. So me and Joe were we were kind of frail too. We were like really skinny kids with big old heads, just lollipop bodies.
Oh, God.
And my little brother was the one that actually got into that, like football and baseball and stuff. I mean, we probably could have played baseball. I think that would have been cool. We're kind of average. We're average height for soccer players, baseball players, below average for my favorite sport, basketball. I always say I'm a soccer player and I'm a basketball player in a soccer player's body.
Oh, my Lord.
Like, man, if I was just like a foot taller, it'd be awesome. No, I'd be 6'11" if I was a foot taller.
Jeez.
Half a foot taller. Yeah, give me 6 inches of height.
Speaking of basketball and height, I don't know her name, but old girl for Texas, just knocking them down. She's 5'4".
Oh, yeah, the point guard.
Yeah.
I've seen her. She's just skating all over everybody.
Juking everybody,
up
everything.
and unders, breaking ankles. Hey, that's
Like, you go ahead, little short girl.
Isaiah Thomas plays for the Celtics. He used to play for Phoenix. They traded him away. He's one of the shortest players in the NBA. He's like 5'10", I believe. He's almost my height.
Is
But
that
he's
as short as Muggsy or no?
Muggsy was 5'8", 5'7".
Oh.
Yeah, he was short. Spud Webb was 5'8". Yeah, there's been a lot of short players in the NBA. They always have little man syndrome. They have something to prove, even though he's like of normal height for an average person.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think he takes that into consideration too. Talking about envy, I don't think he's like, man, I wish I was like a foot taller, or like I wish
I wish it was a little bit taller.
Yeah. I don't think that ever crosses. He's an athlete though. Athletes are wired completely different. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas is 5'9".
Ah.
Isaiah Thomas on the Celtics was 5'9". Isaiah Thomas, Zeke for the championship Pistons, he was 5. What did that say? 5'8". Oh no, he's 6'1". Zeke, Isaiah Thomas was 6'1".
Zeke the Freak? No, I'm just kidding.
The Zeke Freak. There's a player nicknamed the Greek Freak.
Oh.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's from Greece.
Where does he play?
He plays in Milwaukee.
Ah.
So for the last 3 seasons, he's played there. But he played overseas mostly. He played for Barcelona, I think, before he got into the NBA. They drafted him and then they stashed him, so overseas. Whatever, we're getting into something else. But I don't think Isaiah Thomas ever thinks like, man, I wish I was as good as this point guard. Or I wish I was good.
No.
He is one of the better players in the NBA currently that averages the most points and has a high efficiency. So like his shots per makes ratio is pretty good.
Yeah.
So he's like one of the best players in the fourth quarter. They call him Mr. Fourth Quarter.
No, I'd probably be trying to make sure I stayed humble if I was, short.
Oh, he's not.
And a great player, because it's like you're in your own category.
Yeah, it's like literally like nobody measures up to you.
Yeah.
Or down to you, whatever.
But he's not humble.
No, he's like
Aw.
he's like nobody's doing what I'm doing right now. Like, yeah, you're right.
He's got a mink coat on. It's 80 degrees.
Like, it's hot in Boston, man. What are you doing with that coat on? I can do whatever I want. Like, yeah, you're right. That's cool.
Just sweating.
Profusely, just like an airplane. That scene when he's trying to land the plane, he's all sweating. No, but I don't think he ever sees that as like his shortcomings aren't. I mean, they're there. Like, it's in the back of his mind. His shortcomings are there. Like, he's incredibly fast though, and he can shoot like no other. But he doesn't ever let that get in the way of. He doesn't let what everybody else has get in the way of what he has.
Yeah.
And he makes it. Damn, he makes the most of it. He's a first time All-Star this season too. So he made the All-Star team doing that. And yeah, this dude's really talented. I mean,
for him.
Granted, you'd want the height to humble you a little bit and the ego to take a normal course. But
Okay. The ego makes up for the shortness, apparently.
I was going to lead into. Let's go back to John Ryan real quick. Like since he's losing his hearing, he doesn't let that stop him from doing what he wants to do, and that's really cool. And I think that's awesome. Shout out to John Ryan, by the way, if you are listening. He doesn't let that get in the way, and he's not going to let it get in the way of his son enjoying certain things with his dad, and he's not going to let that get in the way of the friendships that he has a real tight knit group of friends, and he doesn't let that affect him. It's not like this is gonna stop me. Like, well, I guess I had a good run, and this is how things are gonna turn out now. Like, nah, he's like, I'm in a position where he can. What he says is he's in a position where he can make people aware of the changes that could happen when you're going through something like that, which is awesome. Like, he's raising awareness for that, and he's still doing his art stuff. It's cool. You saw Get Out.
Yeah.
Was it last weekend?
Yeah, last Saturday, Sunday. Last
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. Last weekend. Oh, yeah, because we didn't do anything. Yeah, that's cool.
No.
Did you like it? Was it good?
It was good. It was good. I'm not gonna, of course, not gonna ruin it for everybody that hasn't made it.
Please don't.
Still waiting to go see John Wick 2, so I know people.
I won't ruin that for you then.
No, I know.
I'll let you know about this though. There's a dog in it. Doesn't die.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you'll be happy to know.
Well, good. No, Get Out was really good. Jordan Peele coming through. I mean, I won't say that he surprised me because
It shouldn't. Okay, okay, go on.
Because he's a black man writing about things that affect black people. But I guess, you think Jordan Peele, you think Key and Peele, you think Mad TV. All the goofy characters, that he does, or
I think
whatever.
he did some writing for Mad TV. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, I think, and most of the people who usually end up like as the talent for SNL or Mad TV, they were previously writers anyway. But no, I mean, it was a great movie. It was well thought out. Everything that you would think, like, oh my God, that fits so well. Like that's crazy. Even the little subtle points. If you know a little bit of your history, you'll be like, oh my God, you'll pick up on it. And it's just a really good movie. And it just reflects things that go on in society. And,
It was kind of, he had an interview on the Nerdist podcast with Chris Hardwick, and the guy that does the Talking Dead show after Walking Dead. Oh, he did The Wall too, that TV show. I don't know if you've seen it. It was like a giant Plinko thing, but they would answer questions, and then there would certain number of questions they got right, they'd get a number of balls to drop. So it would fall down like this Plinko kind of thing, and they would fall into like the different slots that had different.
Is that Game Show Network stuff?
No, that was on NBC.
What?
It's just recent. It was like in collaboration with LeBron James. Or LeBron's a smart dude, by the way. Okay, going back. Everything's tying back into sports today. It's weird.
Sports talk.
LeBron knew that he was a superstar player when he got into the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they dubbed him king before he even won any jewels.
Yeah.
Well, titles, whatever, metaphor. And he started branching himself out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like Jordan was great in the sport, but I'm going to be great as a person, like as a philanthropist. And he did, as much as I don't like the stuff that he does on the court, whether it's flopping or complaining.
Being a drama queen.
Yeah, pretty much. It's complaining that he needs playmakers around him, and then they got a Darren Williams point guard. That's another podcast. He does things that like kind of help people a lot. And the show The Wall was the people that had the shortcomings in their life and they were used to doing things for other people. So like it was like people that were big in their communities. They came onto the show to win money. And that's what he based it around. And LeBron had that idea, and he wanted Chris Hardwick to be a part of it. And they got together, and he was like, "Yeah, it's something I actually believe in." And we made this show happen. It was really cool. It just ended its first season, so it's going to be coming back in the fall.
I wonder if I can Netflix or Hulu that.
It was intense. Some of the clips I saw for the show is like just these people. Okay, so you had the person out there making the decisions, and then you had a person in the back. That was their partner, or their not like partner, like love partner, life partner. It was their, like they did things in the community, so it was like a 2-man team. Or occasionally it was the spouse of the person that was on the show. In the back, could not have any say in what's going on with the show. So if it was like, okay, you got $90,000, do you want to try to go for another one? Like, and there were slots where you could lose money too. So I was like, do you want to keep this prize or keep going to get another prize? And it would cut to the reaction backstage, like, no, stay. And he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go and get some more money. And then they end up losing it. And like, it's just so heart wrenching. And like, that's good TV.
Like
that's good TV.
Kind of like The Price is Right, but on a much serious level.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But no, Jordan Peele was talking about, because I didn't know he was half white.
You didn't know that?
No.
They always joked about on Key and Peele. Yeah, both of them are half white.
Well, I would always watch the skits, and I would just see the ones that were like the most popular, and then I actually started watching it, and I didn't know that.
I feel like that's why people may have doubted. I didn't doubt him, but I guess the way things are just ingrained in the way society goes, it's like, well, can this multiracial man really
have some sort of social commentary?
Yeah, on like black people. What we consider is, well, you don't look as black as I do, or blah 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 blah. But he came through. He came through.
He's been writing, according to his IMDb page. He's been writing since 1995.
Really?
So in like the heyday in its prime, when Mad TV was in its prime, he was a writer for that. I didn't know that
before we even knew who he was, because they didn't come about. Him and Key didn't. They didn't.
Oh no, my mistake. The 1995 television series. He was a writer for 25 episodes from 2003. Wow, 2003 to 2004. He had 25 episodes written.
Dang.
And then 4 episodes in 2005 again. Dang.
No, we didn't. I don't think him and Key. I don't think they appeared on Mad TV until the early 2000s.
Yeah, mid 2000s.
Yeah, and they were like the frat brothers and all that other stuff.
And it's crazy to think that, and he touched on this in that Nerdist podcast, and you were saying it just a minute ago, like, a lot of people kind of doubted the stuff that he could do because he came from either a certain background, whether it was entertainment-wise with Key and Peele, it's like, oh, and Keanu, of course, which was a funny movie, by the way.
Still haven't watched that.
It's great.
And it's always on.
No, it was with that, too, and Chris Hardwick asked him, too, like, do you ever think that people are basing expectations based off of, and this is a follow-up question from the race one. It was like, do you think, I'll touch up on that. It was like, do you think that they have preconceived notions going into this movie because it's like, oh, Jordan Peele does Key and Peele, and like, is he going to be in the movie? Like, producers were asking, like, do you want to be in the movie? He's like, no. Like, he's as much as I like to be a part of that process, like, I don't think it would have given anything to the movie.
It would have probably taken away more from
exactly. That's what he was saying.
The movie was. This isn't a scary movie. This is a suspenseful movie more than anything. And the movie, it has its points you are going to bust out laughing. You're gonna laugh because it's Key. I mean, it's Peele in there. He wrote it.
He still puts his flavor in it.
He's still in there. But I mean, I don't think him being in there would have taken away from the seriousness.
Oh yeah.
Of everything that was going on. I don't think any mainstream people needed to be in it like that, and he kept it as these people that we haven't really seen before.
And what he said about that was he was fans of their work, and he's like really big fans of them. That's why he wanted them in his movie. And he's like, they know what they're doing, like they're a part of this project, and they know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, y'all probably recognize Marnie off top, out of anybody from Girls, but everybody else is kind of. I mean, the mom, I recognize the mom too, but everybody else is kind of like we don't really know them that well, and I think that helped keep the focus on the actual story,
the plot,
the message. So,
oh yeah, it was, you hit the nail on the head because that's essentially what he was going for. It's like I don't want these extracurriculars to, and the whole reason, and he was talking about the process of movie making and how that goes, and he was like, it just kind of takes away, like having the big name attached, kind of takes away from the movie itself. He's like, we had Keanu Reeves in the movie, but the movie was called Keanu. And a lot of people were like, oh, it'll probably have either Keanu Reeves in it or it'll be like something Bill and Ted or Matrix related. And it wasn't. Like,
no,
it was completely its own
Keanu was
thing.
the cat.
And that's what he was saying too, is like, it just takes away from what he actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
Going back to the race stuff, he was talking about how, and this is when I like, okay. Like, he confirmed my suspicions about him being half white and stuff. And he talked about that and how it was a struggle for him to convey that message that you were saying, like the racial, not necessarily tensions, but the racial division. Yeah. And how people seem to classify each other. Yeah. And people do. I do it.
There's a lot of colorism amongst like African Americans anyway. I mean, I guess it just goes back to,
and it's always in the negative connotation.
And if you know your history, you can go on back. Like, if the darker you are, you're probably out there in the field. The lighter you were in the house. And even through like the 80s, they used to have the paper bag test. If you were darker than the paper bag, you probably weren't going to get cast. That's how we have the Apollonias and all the other people that kind of looked like her throughout being the lead women, in the 80s or whatever. And, people broke those down and broke those boundaries, like Oprah and the movies that she did, like Color Purple and everything else that she did, to show that, we all the same, we just different shades. But yeah, I think people still, they catch that guff for being
Like, oh, you
a little bit lighter or a little bit darker.
You used to joke with Dom. I'm brown, so I'm kind of like in the middle. You used to joke with Dom about that though. Like, and that's we take these things that we know, but we don't take it to heart.
Yeah.
So it's not really a serious thing. And and if he were here, he would tell you too. Like, yeah, he had some other way to go about what he wanted to do, whether it was like being an athlete or developing his style of like his eye for film and stuff like that. Like, as different as me, him, and I'll bring up Curtis, as different as the three of us were, we really liked a lot of the same things, which, like you said, like we're all different shades. And it was just weird that we, as much as I didn't like him because I wanted to punch him in the face when we first met, I will never let him live that down, because that's always going to be the truth. But I was like, as different as we were, like, and it wasn't like I didn't take his skin color into account. I just thought he was a dick. I was just like, yeah, like he's just really a jerk, and I don't think I would get along with him. And then wouldn't you know it, we became freaking homies after that. And now, we're getting together this weekend for the paintball thing. Like, it's for sure going to happen. Like, his job stuff is still getting sorted out. Like, he's like in the final processes of all that stuff. So it's like, well, let's do this before I have to start working. I was like,
congrats,
for real?
Dom.
All right, cool. Yeah, I know. I was all happy for it.
So wait, are y'all going to San Antonio or y'all going to Dallas?
No, we're going to meet up in Dallas, because it'll be like I would have to drive the furthest away. And I told him, I was like, you can just stay with Joe and Leah, but he's probably going to rent a room and get his girl to go up there or whatever.
Then his mom lives in Dallas.
Yeah, I was saying that too, but she's not going to want, you know how she
extra company.
Yeah.
Doesn't want the what in fornication?
At least it's not what in masturbation.
Oh, God.
No, but he was talking about that too. And going back to Peele, he was saying how, because him and Hardwick both love horror movies. So they were talking about like The Shining and Jason movies and old Jason, not like the more recent ones that were not that good. And talking about the Predator movies and stuff like that. And Hardwick was laughing because they were both comedians. Chris Hardwick used to do stand-up before. He was an actual host and like has this empire now. And they were talking about how they were so similar, but they both came from different, like we always alluded to, like they came from different backgrounds. And Peele was saying how his friends would always give him like the dirt about being light skinned or like talking funny or being smart or like reading and stuff. And he was like, as bad as it was, as good as it was to be multicultural, it was bad because everybody had something to say about it.
Yeah, you don't quite fit in with the white people, you don't quite fit in with the black people.
And he brushed through that, and he was like, okay, you know what? Like, yeah, it's not going to change. I mean, it may have shaped the person that he is, but it didn't change the person that he became. Yeah. And that's why this movie was so near and dear to him, is because he saw both sides of it. I mean, he says that he mostly related to being black. He's like, because I'm black. There's no way around it.
Back in the day, if you were an eighth black, you could have looked all the way white. And, the star, I forget his name, the guy got on the train. He looked like a white man, but he was 1/8 black. And they were like, well, you look white, but you're 1/8 black. You got to go to the back. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like Peele's going to always be considered as a black man. So, I mean, you can tell that he's, most people can tell that he's mixed. And, when they would have their little chit chat in between skits on Key and Peele, they both would, poke fun at being mixed or whatever. But, I still think he still nailed everything on the head. I mean, you don't have to be just Midnight Oil Black to talk about being black. You have to be
Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
No, but it was good. And I'm glad. And he's a smart dude. Like, he's sharp. And he started going off about these other films in particular, and Hardwick starts pointing out like his eye for detail. Like, he was like, yeah, I noticed this and this in this film, and like how he knows like the writing that goes behind it and everything. And Peele was like, yeah, you should direct, man. Like, you should. And the fact that he can see that in other people is cool, because he's already in a position to where, like, I mean, I know he's not winning Academy Awards or anything, but like, well, yeah, he very well could. But he's in a position to where like he got through all the end of it, so to speak, and now he's in a position to where he can tell. He's like, it wasn't weird like telling white people what to do, but at the same time it was like he didn't even think about it. It was just like, I put myself in this position, and now I can.
You're a director, you gotta direct.
And they all respected it too, because the actors that he worked with were phenomenal talent according to the reviews. And
no, they all nailed it. All those people in that movie, they nailed it. There was no you know, like some movies you go see and they might have that one solid actor and then everybody else around
Kind
him
of feeds off of it.
Yeah, and it's just like you can kind of tell like you're kind of breaking character or you're not really, you didn't really hit that on point like I wanted you to hit that on point. Everybody, I don't know how many times he made them take this, take that, whatever. Everybody, every little thing that they did was on point and it was very believable. Just down to like even the weird, I won't say anything, but just the little weird things. And you're just going to be like.
Little weird nuances that were in there.
Yes. You're going to be like, oh my God, that is what they do.
We had I found out Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom aren't together. It was earlier this week. Yeah.
What
I
happened?
should have saved that for what's the word, but I'm leading into something. Yeah, I don't know. They just quietly decided, we're not going to be together anymore.
Who's she married to for real brief? Russell
Brand.
Ugh.
Forgot about him. He fell off the earth too.
Bye.
He had his own show on FX, remember? It was like a little talk show kind of thing, and then just...
I just always wonder, like, how did you get in your pants, buddy? They are just painted on.
Well, they like come up and grease me up, right? That was my terrible Russell Brand. They got me thinking, though. One time this did happen. It was between a friend of mine and myself. And I had broken up with the girl that I was with for like a long time. And then he thought, now's the time to slide
that's
in.
bro code.
Yeah. I was pretty pissed about it for the longest time, too. Which is probably why we don't talk every now and then. But
So wait, we're Orlando Bloom.
He's a...
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, they're not together anymore. And I brought that up because I made a joke about it. My friend had mentioned it, and she was like, yeah, they're not together anymore. And I was like, all right, I still have a chance.
Oh, my God.
And she started laughing, and she was like, for Orlando Bloom, for me. And I was like, no, I was talking about for me, too.
Oh, my God.
Just made a joke about it. But that reminded me of that situation, though, and it was like, that's kind of a not good friend thing to do.
No.
But it happens, because people will always find a way to either hate you or envy you in some respect.
Yeah, I feel like I mean some situations, there's probably a lot of situations you'll probably never know it, but somebody probably is envying you until you find yourself in that situation like, hey, why are you trying to
hold up,
talk to my ex? Like, you're not supposed to do that.
She didn't fall for it, by the way.
And then that makes you think like you've been checking for my ex before they became my ex.
Like, hold up. Well, the situation with us was he introduced me to her in the first place. And then it was like kind of a missed opportunity, and then he just messed up. Didn't think about it ever until that happened. The door opened, so to speak, and it was quickly closed. She was having none of that. And I was like, that does happen, though. And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Biden's kid, the one that died of cancer, his son Joe. The wife of his ex or his widower is with the brother now.
What?
Yeah. I found that out on Wednesday.
Sometimes...
That reminds me of that movie with Tobey Maguire and I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, because I get them confused.
Yeah. Well, they were in the same movie together.
What,
it was
they
like
called brothers?
I think it was.
Yeah.
The brother was overseas. He was in the
Yeah.
army, and then he died, and then the widow was left behind, and he was like, we shouldn't because it was forbidden. She's like, we mustn't. And then they
Mustn't.
they got together, whatever.
Sometimes I have mixed feelings about this because, like, sometimes I feel like it's kind of okay. Sometimes, like...
It's okay in the sense that the relationship at that time has ended.
Yeah, and, like, sometimes it's
and
just...
as unfortunate as it is that death had to be the end of it.
Yeah. And then, like, why not? Like, I mean, I guess if the brother has kids, that might be weird between, like...
Yeah.
The children. But if he doesn't have kids, like, if...
You become Uncle Dad in that situation.
Uncle Daddy. Oh, and cousin brothers and sisters. No. But I feel like, like there's been situations like if somebody's like going to jail for the rest of their life and they're just like, they'll have the peace of mind, as odd as it sounds, to know that their lady is with their brother or their cousin or whatever, that they'll be taken care of. And they'll kind of give you that permission, or like, y'all go ahead and be together.
Yeah.
And, they have the guy conversation, like, make sure you take care of her and y'all, just don't do her wrong, And I guess, like, for me, that's kind of okay. But just to, like, brother hop, no. Or like, hopping all through the family, friend hopping, no.
I tried to justify it with they had a relationship beforehand, not like an intimate relationship.
yeah.
But they had the common bond was the brother.
Yeah.
So it was like, this goes to the movie too. Common bond was the brother.
Mm-hmm.
So they got this together. That's how they knew each other. They both cared about this person very much.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that person's not in the picture anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, hey, we both understand how he worked, and now we're together. It's a weird thing.
It's. I mean, yeah, it's weird. I'm not saying it definitely shouldn't apply to every situation, but I can understand. I can understand how it would, how it can apply to certain situations.
God, that's got to be a tricky one to be in. Like, I'm not for sloppy seconds on any mean, but
yeah. No, no, I agree with that. I think there'd be like awkward moments to work through, like intimate times.
She accidentally like drops the name wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that would be twisted though, wouldn't it? Ugh. This is like Lifetime stuff right here. It's like she is trying to hold on to the memory of her husband with the brother. That's a Lifetime. We should write this up right here.
Okay.
Hold up. What would we call it?
Brother's Keeper. Lifetime movie presents Brother's Keeper.
Sunday at 6. That's prime time for them. Sunday at 6 and again at 9.
And then again at 12.
And again on Tuesday. No, but I've been in that position where people have been envious of what I had. And at the time, I didn't think about it. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm living on Easy Street because I got a lady in my life. Or I have this nice car. And
yeah.
I don't think about it, but it kind of, that sucks. This sounds like first world problems. Like, I don't think about stuff like that. It's not like, I take into consideration, like, I am in a position that's very fortunate to me and, like, everybody around me.
Yeah. I
don't ever take it for granted.
I think people, like, I've definitely throughout life found myself like, dang, like, I'm 20, okay, I'm 25, I should be this. Definitely thought, if you would have asked me when I was 20, I mean, I'd had a baby, but I was like, I'm back in school, this, that, and the other. Like, I'm going to be married by I'm 25. By the time I'm 25, I'll be married, blah, blah, blah. I might have another kid. Mm-hmm. I'm 30, only got a 10-year-old, ain't even got no boyfriend. So, like, but then I was...
Gentleman.
Okay. Anybody like to travel? Anyway. No.
Anybody like the chocolate?
Oh, my God.
It's good for your heart, actually, dark chocolate is.
It is. It is, but chocolate's not good for the doggies, though.
Oh, don't remind me. That reminds me of the time I left the Blondie on the table. And Theo, when we had Theo, he got a hold of it and, like, water splattered all over his cage, and Adriana had to clean it up.
Oh. Oh. Were you mad?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I left it on the table thinking he couldn't get to it. And also, I left it on the table thinking I leave stuff on the table all the time, forgetting we had a dog.
Mm-hmm. And he just went to town. And
yeah. I'm sorry.
Ew. But no, I found, anyway, back to serious. No, I found myself, being envious. I've had a lot of friends that have gotten married, like, especially like once we made it on the other side of 25, go ahead and, end up getting married, start having kids or whatever. If they had kids before, still got married, blah, blah, blah. And so, but there's a lot of things just, I guess with the generation and just the times they've changed, like people don't take certain things as serious. So a lot of people getting married and cheating on their husbands and wives. And so sometimes I'm not.
Now it's springtime.
Yeah. Warming up. Folks are just cheating.
It's cheating season.
Exactly. Heat. No.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay. Don't do it, y'all.
Be a decent person. Don't do it.
No. So I'm not as envious. I don't feel that same envy that I felt 5, 6, 7 years ago as I do now, because people don't treat marriage like what it should be.
Oh, yeah, that's the best way. What did they say? Since the advent of divorce, marriage, the idea of marriage has kind of just took a little hit to the reputation.
Dive. Yeah, people...
Do you think... damn, I had a good question lined up. Oh, do you think like you just growing and experiencing things kind of made you outgrow that mindset?
Yeah, and I mean, everything comes, I think, with maturity. As long as it's gonna, go in the right order. Like, I was teenager, early 20s. I'm gonna get married and I'm gonna have this big dress and and then you think and you have to realize how much things cost and flowers and cakes.
Did you ever plan your marriage when you were little? Like your wedding, your dream wedding.
No, I just
I'm gonna
always
get married on a hilltop.
I just always have like I always had like an idea of like, oh well, you know, depending on my boyfriend, I had like, oh well, we'll get married at a beach because that would fit us, or we'll get married in a church because that'll fit us this way, and da 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 da. But no, like
The scenery changed. I can imagine it like it's you and someone without a face, and like the background keeps sliding, it's rotating, and then like something else changes.
and this template and this dress looks better. No shoes.
It's like a filter, just like you're swiping on Instagram and stuff's changing.
Exactly. No, but I mean things just changed. Like right now, if I met a guy and we got serious and, you know, of course everything meshed well with Jaden, I mean honestly we could just go to the courthouse and get married and then just save up for an actual wedding. Like I don't have to have, first of all, I don't want a big Cinderella dress anymore anyway. I'd want something fitted. But
Yeah.
the venue, it
Keeping
really
all the sexy together.
exactly gotta hold everything in.
Like I don't want to be elegant. I want to be at least presentable, but you know,
I want to offend everyone in the church.
even Jesus, because he's
No.
always watching.
No, but the dress would just be something fitted, and I mean the venue really wouldn't matter. It could be in a nice church, it could be outside, beach, whatever. And then also when you think about those big weddings, you have to know a lot of people. I don't know a lot of people, and I don't like a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even want this huge church because it'd probably be like, I don't know, depending on how many people he knew, like maybe 10 rows on his side, and for me probably just 5 or 6 rows because I don't
even that.
Yeah, and that's for
You only want 5 or 6 rows so people can sit apart from each other.
exactly. And you can't. Yeah, some of those people that I like don't like.
They're
each
like,
other.
nah, just we're gonna sit over here. We can sit over here.
You know, and you have to factor in who can actually make it to your wedding depending on where you are. And you know, you don't think about these things when you're younger. You just think it's all going to come together.
It's gonna be magical.
Exactly, and it doesn't. You know, it doesn't happen that way. So, you know, something intimate. And, you know, just making sure that I'm with somebody that I love and they love me. I don't want to, when I get married, I want that to be the first and last time that I get married.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Doing it right, doing it the right way.
Exactly. So, but
I mean, I believe too that, I mean, I'm 27 years old and I'm not, my brother, and I use him as reference a lot for like, he's like the benchmark for like having the family, even though they don't have kids. I mean, they don't. No hurry to get kids at all.
Yeah, no, everybody don't rush into that.
Yeah, they also don't have a kid in a relationship to try to save the relationship because that doesn't
That
work.
will make people run away quicker.
According to TV and like maybe two other situations that I've seen, doesn't work. Let's have a kid and save the marriage, yeah. And then you're like, I don't like this kid. Can I exchange him and get another one? No, but I always use Joe. Like he married his high school sweetheart. We talk about him a lot on this show now that I realize it.
But he's a really good example, though.
He's like the best example that I know.
Yeah.
Like they married each other in high school. No, they didn't. I was almost going to say that. They married after college, like when they were both like getting into their careers. Joe barely not figuring out how to do
Also,
anything.
PSA to everybody really quickly. Do not get married while you're in college. Wait, because they will combine your income together. Makes it harder to get financial aid, Pell Grants, all that other stuff. Just wait. You can wait.
I'm glad I didn't get married in college.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get married
I was
in
never
college
even
either.
close to getting married in college, but
I'd probably been in a relationship for 3 years, but that wasn't on my mind to get married right then and there.
I was in a serious relationship too when I was in college, and it wasn't like, yeah, let's do it.
And I knew a lot of people when I went to South Plains, they were just getting married, and I was just like,
Why?
what are you doing? Just, you haven't even got your career yet. Why are you married?
This one girl I knew was a singer. She is a singer, but she got married like when she was 20. No.
I think if I would have got married when I was 20, I definitely wouldn't be with that person.
I know college is the time to, I guess, find yourself and like how people like experiment and do all these things. Like
Yeah.
I didn't go that far, but
I'm not saying that just because you're in college, you need to be sleeping with everybody
Yeah.
or anything like that. You can still date whoever you're dating through college and then get married to them after college. Like, you don't know where you're going to go after
Nobody does.
college. So, just,
at least I like to think. I like to assure myself that nobody knows.
yeah, just wait. That's the best thing to do. You don't have to marry somebody because at that point, honestly, and this is how I was when I was younger. When girls are in their teenage years and like early 20s, we don't know how to we don't appreciate alone time as much as guys. Guys grasp that a lot quicker than we do. And so at that point when we're that young, y'all are like our puppies and we always want you around. And I feel like a lot
Puppy
of those
boyfriend.
exactly. I feel like a lot of the reasons why some of those couples that I knew personally got married is because the guy just like, I'm marrying her to shut her up because
Oh,
she's
no.
afraid that we're going to get out of college, I'm going to get a job over here, and then I'm not going to be with her. But that's not the case. You can still
that kind of sacrifices your individualism, though, too.
Yeah.
Nah.
And I was like, you don't. I mean, he shouldn't have did that either. But I guess girls, like I said, we don't grasp that alone time. Like, guys are cool with being alone at a young age, and we're not. What are you doing? Where are you at? Why are you not here with me? Come look at these clothes with me. And
I know all about it.
You can't make a guy do that because he's not going to be with you.
Like, God, shut up.
Because I was that person when I was younger.
Why aren't you on your leash? Like, whoa, hold up.
Come lay with me. Why are you on the little sofa? Come get on the big sofa with me.
I just want my space, damn it. No, as quick as men are to grasp the concept of being independent, women are quicker to be mature, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, and I'm not saying that because, I feel like a man when he's 20 is probably thinking like he's still 18, and a woman when she's 20, if she's doing everything right.
When I was 23, I still thought I was 18. Not like I have no responsibility. I was like, yeah, I'm just, I'm just
you're not
barely
worried
an
about
adult.
things.
Yeah, I'm just barely an adult.
A woman that's 20 is probably, and then I had a kid when I was 20,
so you just like
I was
shot
probably thinking like a 25-year-old then, like, okay, well, I'm gonna finish college, and
I need to pinch these pennies, and
okay,
I can't go out and club all the time. And...
Exactly. No, but I mean, I had my fun, but like
that's reasonable.
I think like that whole
just because you have a kid doesn't. And my friend Nicole, we hung out on Friday. Like I said, like having children doesn't like stop you from having a life.
Yeah, no, and you have to get that alone time. Don't sacrifice the safety of your children by leaving them at home alone or leaving them with somebody, just whoever. But when you do find the right, babysitter and the time for yourself, go take some time for yourself because you'll snap.
You'll lose your mind. Yeah, Nicole, and you see it too. I mean, I stress this a lot. Glad I don't have kids. It's cool.
Yep.
I get to spend
I wouldn't
the money.
tell anybody to have kids. If you're not ready, don't have them.
I get to do everything I want to do, and she doesn't let that hold her back too. Here's her story of perseverance and trials and tribulations. She had a marriage, separated, had 2 kids out of that. Her oldest is 16 now, I think, playing tennis, and gosh, she's grown a lot since I've known her. And was in another marriage that ended poorly, had another kid out of that. Nicole has 3 kids, used to work 2 jobs at a law firm and at a pizza place, just doing pizza place things, making pizzas, all that, full time. And then at the lawyer place, she was, at the practice, she was working 32 hours, but getting paid full time.
Nice.
And going to school.
Dang.
Yeah. So she just like busting her ass, got out of this situation where she doesn't have to work 2 jobs anymore, went to a new law firm, and is making way more money than she was at the other 2 places put together.
Good.
Yeah. And then Friday we kind of went out to celebrate a little bit, got to catch up, got to have some adult beverages. And it was good. And it was good to see that. And she doesn't let those shortcomings come into play either. She's like, well, like all these people she's like, you like don't have a job, you don't have kids, and you have a job, and you have a car, you have a house. Technically I don't have a house, I'm renting it, but whatever. It's a place to live, it's independence. And she didn't let the fact that her kids are in her life and she loves them to death, don't get me wrong, she's not negligent of them, but she didn't let that hold her back from what she wanted to do. And now she's making the money that she deserves, and she's still going to school to finish up what she needs to finish up. She's almost done with that, which is awesome. And that's the hand that you dealt. We talked about this last week too. It's like, that's the hand you dealt.
And see, somebody looking from the outside in may say, oh, well, she's set up and blah, blah, blah. You always have to take into account what have people been through before that to get to where they are. You can't just automatically assume just because this person has the good job, is living comfortable, able to do things for their children that they want to do, that they didn't put in the work. Somebody, nobody handed Nicole anything. She had to do that.
She went out there and took it from somebody,
and
I think.
I haven't really had like a long go with fast food. I think I worked at Subway for like maybe 5 months in my teenage years. Didn't really too much like it, but I can only imagine how busy a pizza place is. Everybody's always ordering pizza. So she had to do that on top of working another job and then taking care of 3 kids.
And going to school.
That's a lot. And then you don't get you can't take a mental break with any of those. You have to be mentally there for school. You definitely have to be mentally there for a child.
Oh. I left my kid in the car.
Or they'll be in a corner somewhere starting a fire or something.
I forgot to put pants on them. No, but like, that's the, I guess, the best example that I have. Oh, and my brother, going back to me, like holding myself to his standard. It's not a good thing to do, and I've kind of leaned away from it because we have our own individual paths. Like, as much as we are the same, and everybody thinks that we think alike all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and although you're twins, I mean, it's kind of, it's a little unrealistic to think that, oh, well, that since you're twins or brothers, that y'all are going to get married at the exact same time. Like, that's...
Or even with Beetle, too. Like, he has 2 kids now, and he got into the parent thing quicker than we did. And, like, he was in a relationship, and then that... obviously blossom into 2 fruits of their labor. But he doesn't see it as like, well, that's, I can't do anything I want to now. Like he's getting the money together. He's working a job to support his family and put some aside so he can go to barber school. Like that's what he wants to do. And I was like, that's what you need to do, and you keep doing everything you can to do that.
Yeah.
Again, this goes back to dealing with the hand that you dealt with, and like, okay, I can make them in poker. It's like, oh man, I have like 2 cards that don't match up, that don't pair up, that aren't the same suit, and somehow you can win the pot.
Yeah.
And that essentially is what you can do.
You have to. I mean, everybody, we've all got excuses. There's always an excuse somewhere to say, I'm not going to do this. That's up to you to decide, okay, I got to push through and make this work. I had a kid when I was 20. That could have been the end of my college career. A lot of people, and I've heard a lot of people around here, oh, I got a kid, I'm not going to school anymore. Like, what? There's a lot of resources made available to you to take care of that. Nobody said it was going to be easy. It's not easy going to school without a kid. It's still, I mean, school's still hard regardless. And
it's not like you just go in, you show up, and you make the grade.
Exactly. Like, you're not paying for the degree.
It takes effort.
Yeah, and I mean, there'd be times I got my apartment. Jaden was 1. Mom, I want to play. And I'd have to give him a crayon and paper. And I'd be like, well, let's do homework, Jaden. So I'd have to write my stuff out. And he'd think he was doing something until he would finally catch on and be like, no, you do it with me. And I'd be like, baby, mama has to do this. Go.
Like, there's another real homework I have to do.
Yeah. And it would hurt my feelings. But, I'd hurry up and finish that. Sometimes it'd be time for bed by the time I got finished. But that's what I had to do to make sure that now we have time to spend with each other. I can go to work. I get to leave work at work. And boom, we can do whatever we wanted to go do. Mama doesn't have to worry about that. And even the people that have older kids, like, keep doing what you're doing. All that hard work is going to pay off so that it's comfortable.
That's what I was taught. That's why I have the job that I have now. Like, I'm not going out like my dad is and like tending gardens and keeping up with landscapes. Or even before then when he was a custodian, like busting his ass just going out there and cleaning up dookie or
oh God.
Or he used to like he just does hard labor stuff. Like that's what he grew up, that's what he knows how to do. He's damn good at it too. But he told me to be smart so I don't have to go through that. So he pretty much, my parents realized the situation that they were in, and they put us in a position to succeed. They gave us a better hand, so to speak. So it's like, okay, you can do this, and you go out there and you get it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. At least I'm not cleaning up doo-doo. He's not doing that anymore. He's actually winning awards with UMC for their landscape. And
nice.
They won like all kinds of accolades since he's been there. And like, he has a green thumb, apparently. Which you wouldn't think looking at my dad.
I know, this motorcycle guy.
Right.
And watering a little bit of flowers.
Just looking at you all mean.
I've got to trim that interior pedal.
This will spruce this up a little bit. Amber, take us home.
Oh, thank you so much for tuning in to Sunday Fun Day Podcast. You can catch us on Spreaker, iTunes, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank y'all for joining. Bye-bye.
And remember, something that you have, maybe somebody else wants. Have a good week.
God from the giving kind.